Welcome back for another yummy update. It is pegged nipple day, my friends. Bitcoin today hit above 110,000 American dollars. We are waiting to see if we're going to get through this high. I feel like, friends, I don't know why. I feel like we are just poking it and then we're going to come back and like skits around a bit. Usually that's just what Bitcoin does. It just like, it keeps like smashing up through these highs, but then like usually just skits out the first time. So you and I, we've already waited many years. So we're waiting for these things to get excited. We don't really have to, worry about waiting. Who cares if it's just another few weeks, whatever. This is the total crypto market cap. Remember, it is at 3.4 trillion. If we got to 10 trillion, what would that mean? Boom time. If we got to 10 trillion, that would be roughly, based off estimated ratios and dominances, it would be Bitcoin 200K, Ethereum could be 16K, others would be 10x. So your portfolio, the worst poopy coins should do about a 10x from here. The poopy ones, 8, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And the good ones hopefully do like 20. We'll see. But some of them it's a bit tough to figure out because Chainlink is already strong, for example. So it might only have 10x left. But it's off its lows, right, from 2022. Whereas a coin like Hex, for example, is like 50% below its low. And then Chainlink is 3x above it. You see there's like a 6x deviation. So you don't know where these things are going to land, friends, but stablecoins are expected to grow to 2 trillion in the next 4 or 5 years as well. So stablecoin super cycle might have something to do with the greatest stablecoin in the world. pDAI is actually up, hit 40 to 50% today. PulseChain PLS is obviously correlated to Ethereum, and we're just waiting for these things to come and play out. Now, friends, I just want to show you something. Like if you're new to crypto, maybe it's your first cycle. Look, no one knows how high any coin is going to go. We can be confident things will do well, but do well, what does it really mean? Like if Bitcoin does a 2x and then your thing does a 4x, if that's the top, people will then gaslight you in the bear market and they will say to you, and I'm not making this up, they'll say to you, oh, you got a 4x, you got double Bitcoin, you got greedy, you should have sold. So what does do well mean? That's why it's really important just to think about your risk allocation and what you're comfortable with. And yeah, I mean, like no amount of money is worth it if you can't even sleep properly at night, really. I want to show you this. This is what the rest of crypto is dealing with. So this guy based Carmen says, we had Aiden. Instead of our bags going 10x higher, the LA rape cabal told Aiden to buy their bags that they were up 8,000x on, and he told his audience to buy them, and then they effing raped him. It doesn't help who we have if they're being guided to the slaughterhouse. So look at this comment. He's saying, crypto needs more streamers. If we had crypto streamers as viral as Kai and Aiden, all our bags would be 10x higher. And then Big Tone, 2 dumb bitches telling each other exactly. So the whole gist of that is what actually has happened, friends. This is Aiden. He's one of the LA Vape Cabal dudes. But, friends, because scum hangs around scum, right? So Aiden is the guy. He's like their fallout guy. Because they've basically found, this is what happens in social circles, right? When there's a lot of scum friends, there's always a fallout guy. They pin everything on him. So look, it's really unfortunate that the dominant voices this cycle were people who would rather rug for their own gain than grow the pie. Really short-sighted. Imagine meeting someone who can rug, who can 50x the audience inside the casino, and you decide, let's rob him instead. So it's pretty much making commentary on these LA Vape Cabal. So this is what happens, friends. Because remember I told you everybody's circling the drain? Well, there's not enough new people coming in. So it's the same amount of like, the foot sniffers, the people in the hotel cuck chair. So there's the real number is about 150,000 daily users on Pump Fund, on Solana. And remember that number of the people, how much money they have in their wallet, it's like draining and they're circling the drain. So what does the LA Vape Cabal do? Okay, they obviously they don't want to stop making money because they like it. They like being celebrated and stuff. So obviously they use Aiden's audience as a fallout guy. Now, I'm not giving excuses for anyone. I'm sure they're all dirty and stuff here, but I'm just showing you how these things work. So basically, because it's like food being cut off from a village, right? You start cannibalizing each other, right? We've seen that in crypto and stuff as well, right? So now they're obviously taking him out as well, and obviously using his audience, and they just basically because he's gullible to them. Right, where they're like, oh, shill this, it's fine. And they're actually dumping on him in the background, dumping on him and his audience, right? And he's part of the LA Vape Cabal. So this is what happens, right? Criminals and this type of junk, they hang around each other and they do that stuff together. So if you hang around it, it brings you down and everybody else down. But what I'm going to do now, let's crank it a bit. I wanted to also show you this from my friend Gainzy, friend. So Gainzy explains how HyperLiquid works, which is very in tune with everything I've pretty much told you in terms of, you know, why do people even support a coin? Why does anything have a network? It's because early people got to buy and get rich. Okay, what I'm going to do actually before we watch the video, I think it's helpful for the context. Let's actually look at, okay, I'm going to show you the hype token, but this is the US bonds, funny enough, just like sinking down, friends. Oh my gosh, the US 10-year. Oh my gosh, I think it's going to do the thing. This will be funny, friends. If the US 10-year, if this comes down, oh, JPal's going to have to step in, dude. you can't have a $9 trillion debt with rocketing high inflation rate, yield rates like this that you're going to pay. So the price of their bonds is getting absolutely dunked. That's funny. What I'll do now, I'll show you Hype USD, friends. So Hype out here. This is, wow, what a nice chart, man. What an absolute epic chart. Yeah, so it's actually come back to bounce up here. So HyperLiquid, friends, is literally, it's decentralized Bybit and Binance. It's got similar GUI and stuff out here, leverage trading, right? And they use a similar principle of like liquidity and stuff where I think you can join the HyperLiquid pool and it has, I don't know what tokens are in it, but it pretty much, it gets paid based off everyone's liquidations, I think as well. But when people trade in and out, they're trading out of the pool, right? So it's actually, it's kind of sad, but GMX were the first to like implement this. Remember GMX protocol? It's an Oracle-based type of trading. And then I think they're, you know, able to tweak it. Now, I'm not exactly sure how it fully works, but a lot of people got HyperLiquid at the start and they're able to get it. This is not the full chart. If you can actually see where that full chart is, maybe. This is one of the earlier exchanges, but not even the real price. I think, friends, people were able to buy it at like $4. You know, it did like $4 and it went to like 30, right? So, but I didn't know about it. I didn't know it was on because there's people in the leverage trading stuff, right? You can't watch everything in this game, and like things will develop that are just cherry picked, that are good, that you're just gonna miss. And there's a lot of bad things you miss as well. You know, it's survivorship bias. Like you forget the 15,000 scams that you avoided. But yeah, so this is what Gainzy has to say. So someone asks why HyperLiquid was popular.
What am I missing about HyperLiquid that everybody loves? So basically, a lot of the centralized exchanges, their thing was you have counterparty risk, as in like you deposit $1 million on a centralized exchange, they might steal it, but in return, they probably won't because they're all massively profitable and you have a lot of liquidity. Nobody used decentralized shit because they weren't liquid. HyperLiquid isn't like 100% decentralized, I guess, but it's more decentralized than centralized exchanges. Has a shitload of liquidity, you can see everyone's position, but most importantly, it made everyone rich. The last thing that made everyone rich, I think, was Binance, BNB, like printed for everyone.
So there you go. And I've also got this interesting comment just on the bottom here from Doge Defender. Not gonna lie, GMX is the real decentralized one, but HyperLiquid being less decentralized does help them have an edge on funding fees. So this tech is actually really cool with how it works. So that's why it's actually interesting. It's just smart what we do in crypto, friends. We make so many cool solutions. So remember, the ultimate problem with exchanges decentralized is liquidity, right? How do you get people to provide bids and offers and stuff out here? They need an edge. So how they solve for that is they go, hey, let's put everyone, right? Let's make everybody put money to invest as a market maker, right, into a pool. And then the pool of money, that's what market makes everything with. And then you probably wonder, hey, but if people are trading against you, what if they win and they take all the money from the pool? Well, the pool gets bigger when there are liquidations, which I'll actually show you right now. If you go to the HyperLiquid website, app.hyperliquid, what I'll show you is if you click on vaults and you can click on, say, HyperLiquid provider, HLP, the liquidity provider. What I'll actually do is I'll show you that. Look at that. It's just rising and rising and rising and rising. Check this out, friends. It used to be tiny. If you check it all time, this thing only used to be 3 grand in there when I was testing it. Then it used to be 600,000 in there, 6 million. Now it's all the way up to 62 million. Also, if I go back and I look at Liquidator, that might actually be the Liquidator bot. I'm not sure. Maybe it is. Maybe it's something else. Actually, so yeah, it's deprecated. It will no longer take positions. Yeah, so very interesting how we're making all these solutions and stuff for crypto. So obviously, friends, look, I've told you this thousands of times, yeah. You want to win? Okay, long-term holding. That's it. Long-term holding, you win. Yes. The shorter your time frame, the lower your win rate. On average for everyone out here. Okay. So most people, you have no edge. The thing is, you have no edge, you're 50-50 at best. And then you'll lose based off fees. Yeah. But if you say you have no edge, okay, you have no skill, You just holding long term, your win rate's not 50-50 anymore. Your win rate can literally go up to 90%, 95%. Probably 90% actually, when we think about it in crypto, because I did this test. I've actually checked it in 2017 and I did personal experiments 2021. About 1 in 10 coins were scam rugs back then. This was projects full rugging, not meme coins, and there weren't none back then, right? But yeah, just projects full rugging. So 1 in 10. So that might be roughly an estimated win rate. Think about how big that is though. You go from 1% win rate in trading, 1%, literally 1% people have a profitable account in like 12 months or anything up there. And let's say if you're optimistic, 5%. Compare like 1 to 5%. And on the other hand, you have like, 70 to 90%. Which game do you want to play? I know what game I want to play. It's the long-term holding stuff. And even when I play around, I do some swing trading and stuff out here, nothing compares to the dopamine hit of when it finally just starts going up. I mean, I didn't have to say it. I mean, look at pDAI, what freaking pDAI did, friends. You can't trade this, man. Look at pDAI from the obituary. Look at this. Literally went up, man, 1,100%. Massive. You can't compare. But the thing is, it's easier said than done, isn't it? 1, you got to wait a long time. 2, you have to delay gratification with that, right? Because you're not getting a dopamine hit. Because like every time it goes up and comes down, goes up, comes down, they're like, oh, right, I know it's into you, but that's it. How bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? Remember, friends, Rocky Balboa, when he's like, he's squatting with the wooden, the tree stumps and stuff. How bad do you want it? You got to ask yourself. If you want it, you're going to make it. If you understand, remember, I tell you as well, friends, when I knew the tropes, long-term holding, blah, blah, blah. I knew all that. But I really want to figure out, man. I went down to the fundamentals. I'm like, why does long-term holding work? Why? Why? And I've actually made so many videos here. So for example, right, there is a growth rate of long-term whale buyers who appear in any asset. There's a growth rate, yeah? The longer you hold, okay, the more you get to participate in an asset where someone comes in, takes supply off the market, puts it in their back pocket, and walks away for a long time. If you're trading short term, maybe there's like only one big long-term whale appearing every month in a coin, yeah? And they buy a bit of the supply and whatever. Well, only one appears, yeah? But still, if you wait 24 months, that is 24 whales who will appear and chew up the supply for you. That's why crypto is amazing if you can hold it. If you're trading in and out every month, all you're doing is you're betting that that whale is going to come in at any time, which you don't know. It's maybe that person will appear once per month and you don't know what day, you don't know what time. So you want to get long before them and you want to sell after, but you don't know when they're going to appear. But if you just say, I'm going to just wait the whole period of time, you eventually understand that's how you win. Now, this does definitely apply for PulseChain, friends, out here. PulseChain, remember, there are buyers, they're buying Bitcoin spot ETF. They're going to overflow into Ethereum spot ETF. And then PulseChain PLS is going to go up as the business cycle rises. And people think PulseChain is expensive right now, but they're going to think it's really cheap up here. Remember, baby dolls, as well, I've told you, man, Cardano is 37 times more expensive than PulseChain, okay? We are 97% discount compared to them. We are doing 6 times more daily on-chain volume than Cardano. So we're 6 times more active, but we're 97% on a discount cheaper than them. It'll be a 37x if we match their valuation. I'm not saying we definitely will. I'm just giving you an idea of how much of a discrepancy there is. Think about this. We are gatekept. PulseChain is gatekept, man. PulseChain, not on any one tier 1 exchange. Not in a single tier 1 exchange. Gatekept everywhere. Exchanges rob us. Richard Hart is on the Interpol. The founder's on the Interpol, attacked by the SEC. So many quote-unquote disadvantages thrown our way. Still here. Your main coin, Hex, is down 99%, man. Still couldn't kill us. That's a strength, friends. That's a strength. Also, look at pDAI. Went to 0 twice. Isn't that funny? Literally went to 0 twice, baby dolls. It's still here. 0 once, 0 twice. Now, I want to share with you a quick clip from Ivan, friends. Ivan speaks about the Ethereum sacrifice treasury out here. I just want to remind you as well, friends, it's our information asymmetry. And by the way, I don't know anything, okay? I could get this wrong, all right? I don't know anything. I literally pegged my own nipples. Because there's no one here to do it for me. Listen, there's information asymmetry, right? That's what you're looking for. What does information asymmetry mean? It means one side knows info, the other side doesn't. We all start out blank, don't we? Like we're born into this world free of sin, You're born into this world blind, little baby. Okay, that's how you enter markets. So innocent. Okay. So your job, if you want to win, is we just look for information and just keep absorbing to try figure out if there's opportunity anywhere. Obviously, in PulseChain, it's a bit of discrepancy because we can see an Ethereum sacrifice wallet with a lot of Ethereum in there, and you see a founder, which most of crypto thinks is a scammer. They think Richard Hart's a scammer. I think he's not a scammer. Okay, they think we're all like cultists and we're like, we're never going to get anywhere. Okay, they're totally wrong. They were wrong about XRP. It literally popped up 6x in a month. It's almost flipped freaking Ethereum. Okay, so they have no idea what they're talking about. So what I'm telling you is that it's still a game of odds. It's a game of belief. Do you think Richard is going to tornado cash all of the Ethereum and run away and disappear into the sunset? Or do you think Ethereum is going to get deployed somewhere? Could be a pDAI, could be directly, I don't know. Do you think we're going to get this deployed somewhere and the ecosystem boosts? I think we're going to get an ecosystem boost. Let's listen to Ivan.
You mean like the crypto treasuries? Yeah, but it's different. It's different. We're speaking about the... I know what the PulseChains want to say. They want to show that Pulse SAC address has a lot of ETH, exactly. So this is Richard Hart. If he buys, and all of the PulseChains, they think that it's their money. They think that it belongs to them, that somehow it's going to benefit them. Let's see, guys. I mean, I would say it's a bit naive. Maybe it will benefit them, but guys, it's not your money. It's like, it's our, look at, we are number, bro, you're nowhere. Look at your wallet, that's you. This money, is it you? I don't know, maybe it's you, but probably not. It's like, look at us, we're number, you're not number 2. Look at your wallet, where is it on this chart? It's nowhere on this They're like, man, it's us. I've seen it online. Like, oh man, we're number 2. Like, bro, it's not yours. But anyway. If he market buys Pulse with this, nice, very nice. It's like ETH. Also, this money, it belongs to ETH. No, like these guys, they just dump it. Okay. And actually, it's a bit bearish for ETH because let's say these guys just dump it.
So that's why, friends. Look, we love Ivan, respected crypto industry titan himself. Remember, friends, he's probably doing well financially. He doesn't need to go to our level. And what is our level is, it just goes deeper in Inception, where he's not keeping up with, say, Richard Hart tweets like we are. You know, he sees it from time to time. He's not keeping up with that. He's not keeping up with what happened with SEC, with Interpol, okay? He's not keeping up with the on-chain stuff, okay? He still thinks pDAI is going to zero, or it's just going to be like its own dead thing, you know what I mean? So basically, look, friends, this happened to me, man. I literally happened to me. A guy, I forgot his name, right? Me and Matt were trading. There was a guy we traded with in 2013. He came, he sat next to me, okay? He literally sat next to me, and me, being a good, kind-hearted friend, I said, hey, man, like, if you're struggling, I'll show you how I make money, okay? Which literally nobody does in this freaking industry. Literally no one does that in trading, bro. Literally no one, right? How naive. A naive something. But anyway, I'm like, hey, if you need help, I'll show you how to trade. I explained a bit of what I was doing, but he just, because I was fading stuff, taking the other side, and it was spreads, he couldn't stomach it. But he said, have you heard about Bitcoin? It's 2013. And I go, no. He goes, it's pretty cool. And I think he said it's going to change the world. And I don't remember anything after that point. And then he told Matt, I think Matt and him went down for a ciggy downstairs. I forgot. And then Matt tells me later, he goes, oh yeah, he said that he's buying this Bitcoin thing like every Monday. And I'm like, every Monday? That's a DCA thing. I had no idea what the hell this meant. And I remember I found a random chart on Google. I go, what is this price of Bitcoin? I found one chart and I think it was $30. And I was literally doing the moonshot chart. And I think it's right here. Let me see where it was. I think it was literally right here, friends. There you go, 2013. That's all I could see on this chart. I did not know what the hell I was looking at. I don't know what it is. It was $30. And then I thought like, how do you even go buy it? And I remember I was just like, oh, you got to send your ID to something and then 48 hours. And I was like, nah, that's it. Now, why was my eyes closed? It was because I was making money day trading. That's why. All right. I'm glad I learned that lesson. Yeah. Because if I didn't see that, maybe I would think all these people are actually smarter than you and me, or they're better people. They're not. They're just not hungry. I'm telling you to believe in yourself. Friends, I literally watched Bitcoin. The only reason I never looked into Bitcoin was because I was making money day trading. The stuff I was doing, was day trading. I was like hyper focused. Friends, it's kind of like if you're a football player, yeah, you can't get a football player to go start playing tennis with you on the weekends. You know what I mean? They're like, no, man, I want to focus on my football. I'm getting professionally paid. It's my full-time job. I don't want to deviate out of it. I want to like accelerate in this. So obviously, I wonder if he kept doing it. But that's why I remember stuff like that, friend. That's why I've showed you the Ivan clip. Like, I'm like, are we stupid, or is anything not going to happen with the Ethereum? And, you know, and that's why I'm saying I take the other side of you, sir. I think something will happen with it. I don't know exactly what. I'm just a believer. This is the PulseChain ratio. I think, friends, you know what I'm dreaming about? You know what I dream about? Besides orange juice? I would love the PulseChain ratio to be doing this, right? And he hasn't even deployed it. The Ethereum in the sacrifice treasury. I would really like that. Okay, that would really make me happy. Because then I'm like, ha, you were waiting for a free payout. Guess what? Believers bought. They don't need the deployment to happen. So that's, yeah, but I don't know if we'll get there, okay? I hope we get there. If you're curious how much this price is as well, Pulse has to do a 3x to get back to break even on the PulseChain ratio. And to get up about here, it's about a 5x. So it's doable. Like it will be about 2x sack price with Ethereum here. And I still think everything's on track. Yes, I wish it would happen earlier. This is the pHex price chart. I drew a fib from the top to the bottom. Surprisingly, the top fib hits 17 cents. That's still below the all-time high for Hex. So I know, man, this is the game, man. When you're a trader, you want to see momentum. When your brain is wired to that, you hate red candles because they don't like that the trends are flipped down, because they're like, oh, I don't want to buy because you're not intending to hold or go hard. You're intending to go in and out. When you're like a long-term buyer, friends, you should be frothing at the mouth at this, because you can literally buy anywhere. You know what I like, friends? What I like is, not just you, but when someone says to me, hey, Sommi, I've got like $2,000 to put in. How do I buy the Richard Hart core coins? What ratio do I do? And I literally just say, just market buy all of them, dude. All of them equal, because they're all dirt cheap. And I like that. I don't like having to stress that, oh, one thing's up 13x and something else isn't, right? Obviously, I'd love all of these things to be expensive, okay? But yeah, we're still waiting, man, for that business cycle, for it to eventually turn around, and I believe it will. Don't forget, like, subscribe, belly button all. Catch you in the next one.